Hello people, today I'm going to be showing you my second place deck profile for Code Talker. I got second place on my locals with the matchups that'll show on camera right now. And honestly, I wanted to play this deck because I'm a huge cyberse fan, and cyberse hasn't seen a lot of play since MathMech, and I just felt like you linking some people, and I did that. It worked pretty well. It was pretty fun, and honestly, yeah. Currently recording this, it is January 2023, so Signed Access is only available in the OCG. We do not have access to it yet, but when we will get it, I'm gonna definitely keep updating you guys. So if you do want to see some combo videos after this, like, comment, whatever, let's do this. So let's begin with the main deck. We run 3 Lady Debug, which of course is our most important card in the deck. This is the best normal summon. You normal this and you can search for any level 3 or lower cyberse monster. This can be anything you can extend with, anything you can go into your Code Talkers, and definitely you will want to go into your Code Talkers. The best thing to search off of this if you don't have it in your hand though, Microcoder. This is pretty much your second starter, and the only thing if you're missing in your hand you want to search with Lady Debug, you're going for this. This is overpowered. It gets you to your Signed Codec, which if you don't know is the main thing you play in this deck. This card lets you plus so much, and this guy literally gets it to you. Up next, we run our codec targets, so 2 code generator. This is the same thing as microcoder, except it's supposed to dump a dotscaper, and when dotscaper is dumped, it special summons itself back to the field, just being a free extender. Then we run 1 Gachiri. This is great to open, but also if you did open code generator, you want to go for Gachiri next, because it is simply an extra extender, and it does add your unaffected thing to your monsters, which is extremely powerful in this meta. Up next, I run triple Parallax Seed. Why 3? Honestly, I tried 2. I like 3 a lot more. 3 is just so much better, and drawing into it doesn't feel as bad because I do run the 1 code exporter for a second win search. But yeah, honestly, running 3, I found it to be really good. I opened 2 once in one of my games, and it went well. It genuinely did go well. So yeah, I'm fine with running just 3 in 1 code exporter. 1 the archiver for a water target. It's pretty much the best one. Actually, no. There's another good one. It's not Code Radiator. I forgot his name, but he's amazing to run. I just don't have him. Finally, for our Signet cyberse cards, we have Ibli, which usually you search off your Access Code Talker, or if you do get early into your Code Talker, you go for this thing. So yeah, this is for the cyberse lineup. Now let's get to our special guest, basically the thing making this deck still playable in 2023. So let's extend to our special guest, and that special guest has to be MathMech. This fucking engine, the 3 circulars, the 1 Sigma, it's goddamn amazing. Basically, you get into this, you get a sign of mining, you go for this, like you always want to go for this. Lady Debug can hold water for circular, because circular does not even take your normal summon. And once you do get into a Sigma, it searches you for your equation, which is an extra extension. Quite literally so freaking good, man. You guys have no idea how much this helped me in my locals. It genuinely really helped. And then we run 2 more MathMechs. The only reason we run 2 more MathMechs, I don't see this ever explained in any video. If you dump Sigma and you have another circular in hand, or you open both of them, you have to have something else to dump, because circular says dump something except himself. That's why we do run 1 addition and 1 subtraction. They're also fire type, so codec, if you go to Heat Soul, you search for one of these 2, which is a free extender and a free OTK enabler. They can make a monster lose 1000 or gain 1000, so they are very, very helpful in this deck. Next, we have our Signed spells. We run 3 codec. Of course, we want to see this card. Like, if you can't get to a microcoder, you have to still try to get this card. This is the best fucking card in the deck. It pluses you so much. I think you go around +4 just with this card. Insane, man. Literally, it's the only reason why this deck works. Secondary, we have our best search tool, Silent Mining. You go -1, but it gets you to any cyberse, Lady Debug, or your circular, which you need. You really need all that. Of course, I run 1 conflict in case we don't need to get into this, or we have this already on the board. It's an Omni if you control Code Talker. It's pretty good. And then finally the 1 Sanctuary. Why Sanctuary? Well, if we lock our opponent with a U-Link, we have to have Sanctuary so they can't crash it. That's the only reason why we run the Sanctuary. Then I have some staples. Obviously, I'm gonna need triple tactics. This deck gets hand trapped, you fucking die. You're gonna need that draw tool or to look at your opponent's hand or break their board by taking it. Yeah, it's just an amazing card. Speaking of hand traps, I do run one called by the Grave. And in case we get floodgated, because my locals loves playing hand traps and floodgates, I do run a main deck Feather Duster. It just feels essential, honestly, in my locals. Maybe not on like a bigger play level, but for my locals, it is a must. Finally, I run some hand traps because why not? My locals hate hand traps, so getting hand trapped just makes people mad over there. I run 3 Ash Blossom, 2 Nibiru, 2 DD Crow, and finally the 3 Infinite Permanences. And that's all the hand traps I run. This main deck has 45 cards, which honestly I really don't like going above 40 cards for my decks. But for this deck, it is really needed because there are a lot of things you want to get into, search. It just has too much gas, honestly. Now let's get into our extra deck. Our extra deck is pretty interesting, but very, very tight. So for linked ones, we do run the 1 Bale links. You need this thing for U-Link. Another thing you need for U-Link, Talkback Lancer. This took me a while to find because it's got 1 printing and it's obscure as hell. But this is an amazing card. This is so freaking good, man. You have no idea. It enables so much U-Linking. It's insane. For Link 2s, I do run 2 Splash Mages. When you get hand trapped, you gotta have this thing out. Otherwise, I would play Jiggle and Crystal Heart for a second extension. Like 1 Splash Mage you need for the initial combo. The second one, you don't really need it. I just play it because if I get hand trapped first turn, I have to make a board. I just use the second one. 1 Code Talker, this is a must. I don't have to explain why it's a must. 1 Inverted, free special from your hand, and a Light Search from Kodak. 1 Update Jammer, it enables OTK. And that's it for the Link 2s. Now let's get into the Link 3s or the Code Talker. So of course, Heat Soul first. In my opinion, a must run. If you brick Heat Soul, pass gets you 2 more draws. If you can survive the turn, you can make a really good comeback. 1 Transcode, the best fucking card in the deck. This guy's MVP. This guy literally just does so much, man. Shooting Code Talker. This is just so you can get to CR Hyper to get more extenders. Xcode, again, same. It's got good zones, and it's just used for extension. For Link 4s, I've got a bit of a different one. Obviously, we do run the Access Code Talker. You need this thing, pretty much. This is a real best of the key thing. I do run the Firewall Dragon too, but the final thing I run, a lot of people weren't expecting to see this card, and when I pulled it up, I got so confused, and they were like, what the fuck, why do you run this? This bitch, Crusadia Abramax. It's not hard to get into it. It's so good. Like, you don't usually go into it with a U-Link, but for a comeback, just a fucking amazing card, man. Abramax King. And then finally, 1 Mathematic Alimbertion. If you get 2 Parallaxes, you can overlay into this and get to your Circular for even more extension. It just has so much extension, this deck. So next up, it's the side deck, and honestly, the side deck is very dependent on where you're playing or who you're playing against. If you're playing on locals, you know what people play in your locals, you're gonna adapt to that. If you're playing on a bigger event, just go against the Shizu Elements. And yeah, I did go against the Shizu Elements, actually did win. I can explain in a different video how I just U-linked them and it didn't have an out. So for stuff I play in my side deck, I play Triple Droll, and this is against Wanderees. The thing is, I didn't draw this against Wanderees, that's why I lost. Yeah, another thing against Wanderees, this thing clearing their Robina can really fuck them up. Like, they go Robina, search for Eaglin, you pop their Robina, they normal the Eaglin, and that's it. Like, they search Penguin, and if they do not have another normal, they just have to pass. And same thing with your map. I usually keep this in case they have a map, but yeah, it didn't work out even in the match. 2 Skullmeister, this is obviously against 2 elements. Plus, Alimbertion, if you didn't know, this can search this. It's a very funny interaction, but yeah, it can actually search it and can come up once in a while. Now this next one might be weird, it's Triple Buckled Eclipse. I play this against Kashtira, and Kashtira Photon Hypernova, the new support, is not out. But people, for some fucking reason, love playing Kashtira, even from now in my locals. So they would just set up a board, you know, Shangri-La with Fenrir, with all that stuff. And you really need this. You're just gonna get your zones fucked, man. You really need this board breaker. It's genuinely an amazing one, and even against some other decks, it does kind of break the board. Next up, 3 Cosmics. Yeah, a lot of people, like I said, play floodgates here. And finally, the 2 evenly matched. I would run a third instead of a Cosmic if I had one. I sadly do not have a third evenly matched. So that's it for my little deck profile here. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope someone still is out there trying to play this deck relevantly and all that. I don't know, man. It's just a hope, you know? But yeah, I got second place in my locals. Not something to be extremely proud of. It was a 24 people local, 5 Swiss rounds, and then 1 final round. And that was it. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. If you are interested in more decks, I actually do have more decks that I could do reviews on, profiles that I've topped with. Yeah, stay tuned, I guess, if you do find this video. I hope you enjoyed, and goodbye.